So, it's the weekend that the clocks go back, and it doesn't mean the EFL carries on, and it starts right now with some more bangers. Hi again, it's me. Today, we're doing my EFL Gameweek 13 predictions. 13, we're in the teenage of the numbers in the game week this season. Can't you believe that, chat? We have the logic of the day, and I get ourselves at least. It's a Father's Life today, we're going to do this, and make sure you subscribe out there, and try to get ourselves up to 200 subs by Halloween. If we get over noon, 2 things gold, we're just 9 subs away from it, so make sure you subscribe out there, and it really helps out the channel and the support. Yeah, no messing about with the first night. We're at Devon in the Exeter St James's Park. Oh yeah, for Exeter taking Plymouth now is taking place in 20th versus 21st. Plymouth are having a shocking start, losing 2-1 to AFC Wimbledon at home on Saturday, and Exeter lost 1-0 to Stockport, but they had their game 15-minute delayed because they arrived quite late. But it's going to be a very tight game to watch, really. It's going to be quite tight. I have Mumba in my fantasy team for this game week, and Plymouth are the other team for this game week, and I really think that Plymouth will bring home the Devon Derby to Plymouth in a 2-1 win to Plymouth in the Devon Derby on Thursday night. And then back down to earth with Preston take on Sheffield United now on the Friday night. Woo! Sheffield United are out of the relegation zone for the first time this season. They're out of the relegation zone for the first time after beating Blackburn 3-1 at Ewood Park on Tuesday night. And for Preston losing 2-1 to Birmingham at home on Tuesday night, but yeah, it's going to be quite tight. Sheffield United haven't won 3 league games in a row in a while, so this could be the game that could get 3 wins in a row for Sheffield United, but I think it could happen here. I think it's going to happen here. A 2-1 win to Sheffield United for this one. We're heading into the lunchtime kickoff now with Ipswich take on West Brom now. I just don't want to talk about what happened to Ipswich recently. They have been fucking horrendous, Ipswich. Losing 3-0 to Charlton, that's probably they hit rock bottom on Tuesday night. Losing 3-0 to Charlton. All the teams, Charlton, they got promoted from League 1 last season, and they only gone and did that to us. Why us? And West Brom also lost 2-1 last night to Watford. But I have a feeling it's going to be a very tight recovery for us, really. I think a 1-1 draw. It's going to be a very tight recovery to watch. It's going to be very tight. And then the commentary from Watford now. Ooh! Coventry top of the table. You have to laugh, but the clean sheet run ended on Tuesday night, beating Portsmouth 2-1. But at least they still won, and they're 5 points clear of third. And Watford won 2-1 against West Brom in their manager's second run debut at home, beating West Brom 2-1 after coming from behind. And yet, it's going again. What really? Last time I met, I don't know what happened, but I think Coventry won the last time I met. And I really think that Coventry... Now, Watford will pull off a very good fight against Coventry. Coventry, one day they're going to take their first L of the season, but in the league. But I don't know when, but I have a feeling Watford will really pull off a good fight. I think they're going to hold on to Coventry for a long time until one goal in probably the final 15 minutes. A 1-0 win to Coventry for this one, but Watford will really pull off a good fight. Brentford Leeds 1 lunchtime kick-off now, with Bolton taking Cardiff now. Woo! 2 of the largest stadium capacity teams are going against each other. One with 25,000 and the other with 25,000. Wow, and Cardiff are top of the table, and Bolton earned themselves a 9-day rest, beating Huddersfield 2-1. They scored 2 goals in the final minutes of Thursday night, but they deserved themselves a 9-day rest. They're going to be fully fit for this game. I don't think that Bolton I think they'll probably beat Cardiff here in a very thriller game. I think a 3-2 win to Bolton for this one. I could taste Bolton catching the dub against Cardiff. And then to Cheltenham take on Walsall now in the top for the kickoff. Ooh, it's Barnum take on top. 22nd take on first place. Cheltenham won in the weekend. Walsall lost 3-1 to Barrow in the weekend. Oh my days. And who would have thought? I would say my favourites for this one is Cheltenham. Steve Cottrell is cooking big time, beating Newport 2-0 and Warsaw losing 3-1 the battle, like I just said like a couple of seconds ago. And I have a feeling, I have a feeling about this one. I think that Tottenham is going to go 4 unbeaten under Steve Cottrell. I have a feeling they're going to win here. I think a 2-1 win to Tottenham for this one. I have a feeling it's going to happen in my mind. We're into the 3 o'clock kickoffs now. It's a big test for Wrexham as they head into the Riverside for Middlesbrough taking on Wrexham now. Ooh. Wrexham are 15th, beating Oxford 1-0 last night, and Middlesbrough won 1-0 last night. So, yeah, it could go either way, really. Both teams won 1-0 last night, and Middlesbrough, I thought they would score even more goals, but no, they just only picked up 1 goal, and they picked the game up on the 6th minute of the game. But yeah, it's going to be a quite exciting game to watch, really, for Wrexham, as they're going to travel to Riverside for it, and the second, now, but yeah, it's going to be a game to watch, really. We're going to have goals here again. Wrexham will pull off a very, very, very good fight against Middlesbrough, who are 2nd place. I have a feeling that Middlesbrough will probably win this very tight, in a 5-goal thriller, a 3-2 win to Middlesbrough for this one, but Wrexham will pull off a good fight. We're into Millwall taking on Leicester now. Ooh, Millwall are 3rd. Leicester are 9th. They are falling down, like rolling down on the hill, sadly, for Leicester after losing 2-1 to Hull on Tuesday night. They've only picked up 1 win in 7. 1 win in 7 games for Leicester. That is concerning for Leicester. But I've said this at the start of the season. This is a different Leicester than we've seen 2 seasons ago. It won't like them just a runaway leaders were blowing Ipswich 2 seasons ago. No, it's very different. It's a different story this season. They're down in 9th, but I think Millwall has been impressive so far this season. I think they're going to win again. I think a 3-1 win to Millwall for this one. I had a club in fantasy team, and as I'm in my fantasy team, captained for this game, and I really think he's going to score. And then to Hull City to Charlton Athletic now. Ooh! 7th versus 5th. Good job at Charlton went 6th because I had to do 6-7. Stop. Just stop. And yeah, Charlton. We do not talk about Charlton in this one after what they did to Ipswich. Just don't. And for Hull, what a win it was against Leicester. Both teams beaten newly relegated sides last season. From last season in the Premier, man, can't you believe it? That they're both in the top 7. Especially Charlton are up to 5th. They shouldn't be 5th, but I have a feeling. I think the Hull's going to make it 4 wins in a row here. I have a feeling it's going to happen in my mind. I think a 2-1 win to Hull. Hull is going to make it 4 in a row. And then Sheffield Wednesday can Oxford now. Ooh, Sheffield Wednesday. It is just a nightmare to watch with Sheffield Wednesday behind the scenes. It's just horrifying to watch. Some fans just not bothered going to Hillsborough last night. There was just a couple hundreds going to Hillsborough for Sheffield Wednesday fans. The away end had 4,000 people going to Hillsborough at the away end, and the home sections had like about 500. And you have to feel bad on Sheffield Wednesday. They need to, their owner needs to blooming sell the club because they're going the wrong way. Rock bottom, 24th, and Oxford losing 1-0 to Wrexham. So it's going to be a very tight game to watch. It's going to be quite tight. I know the goalkeeper that signed on an emergency loan was popping off on last night. I think he'll pop off again if he's still there. I think a 1-1 draw. It's going to be really, really tight. We're into League One now. The 2 dark horses going against each other. Stevenage take on Bradford now. It's 2nd versus 3rd. Yeah, but 2nd against 3rd. Oh my days, who is hype? One is an absolute dark horse. They lost 1-0 to Lincoln last Saturday, and Bradford drawn 2-2 to Barnsley after getting scored from 60 yards, conceded from 60 yards. That is unreal for Bradford and their opponent Barnsley in the weekend. I can't even believe that. But yeah, it's really, really tight game to watch, really. Both teams are up there, which is quite unexpectedly. Some people expected Bradford to be up there, but I put them in the middle. But yeah, it's gonna be a tight game to watch, really. I think there's gonna be goals in this one. I think another 2-2 draw at the Lamex Stadium. And then the AFC Wimbledon take on Burton now. Oh my days! Shall I be saying this? If AFC Wimbledon win and Stevenage Bradford ends up being a draw, and Cardiff lose, AFC Wimbledon could go top of the table if they win. And what all chances they have against Burton, who are 22nd in the league. Oh my good gravy. This is the best chance for AFC Wimbledon, and for Burton to set 22nd. Losing 1-0 to Peterborough. I think AFC Wimbledon is going to fly to the top spot of the table. I have a feeling a 2-1 win to AFC Wimbledon. AFC Wimbledon is going to go top of League One. Then Northampton take on Luton now. Ooh. Yeah, Jack Wiltshire lost in his debut game for Luton as manager, but could he go and win in his second attempt for Luton? But, yeah, Northampton lost 1-0 in the midweek, but well, 1-2-1 against Doncaster in the weekend. But yep, it's going to be a very tight game to watch, really. Luton slipped down to the bottom half, but I think, could that be the lowest they could go, or are they going to go further down? But hope not. But it's a very tight game to watch. But I think that Luton will win it. I think Jack Wiltshire will win in his second attempt here. I have been a 2-1 win to Luton for this one. And then the Peterborough take on Blackpool now. Woo! Both teams in the bottom two. We all did not expect that to come before the season started. Both teams being the bottom two. Everyone was saying that they're going to be in the middle, bang in the middle, but I don't know if Blackpool got a new manager. I don't know, but Blackpool got slipped into the bottom of the table after drawing 1 on Wickham. They were leading like most of the game, but they slipped at the very end to Wickham, drawing 1-1, and Peterborough won 1-0 against Burton in the weekend. But it's very tight game to watch, really. It's really, really tight. I think I'll have a 2-2 draw for this one. It's really tight. Then heading down to League 2 now with Crawley taking Bristol Rovers now. Woo! Last time met in League 1. Both teams got relegated in that season. And Bristol Rovers could not even score a goal against Crawley. And Crawley won 1-0 in one match last season. And it was Scott Lindsay's second run at Crawley. And it's worrying times for Crawley. They're in the relegation zone in League 2. And I'm worried about that. Scott Lindsay could get sacked in his second spell. And I'm kind of worried about him, really, and Crawley, really, at this point. But I have a feeling Bristol Rovers got battered 4-1 by Cramer. It's the 2 games in a row. They conceded 4. And they conceded 8 goals in a matter of 2 games. 3 defeats in a row. I have a feeling this is probably the best time for Crawley to get a win. And I really think that Crawley is going to get a win for the first time in almost a month and a half. A 1-0 win for Crawley. Crawley knows what Bristol Rovers are because they never conceded a goal against them in the past 2. And then this one into Colchester now. Ooh, I can tell this is going to be a good game to watch, really. Colchester are goals for fun. Anderson has got a hat-trick now. First Jack Payne, and now Anderson has scored a hat-trick. Absolute W's for them too. And it's going to be a good game to watch, really. Swindon, I think they're kind of dipping in form recently. They have no wins in 2. Got battered 4-0 by Accrington. Who saw that coming? I didn't see that going from Swindon, and I have a feeling, I think Colchester is going to get something off of Swindon for this one. It's going to be a 2-2 draw at the county ground. And Oldham's going to Shrewsbury now. Oldham. It's difficult to tell. They haven't scored in 2 now, and they've got no wins in 4. But yeah, they're down to 17. Shrewsbury, on the other hand, are unbeaten in 3. Oh my days! Is Shrewsbury going to start climbing up the table? Is that the case? If that's the case, this could be a 50-50 game. and it could really go down to 50-50. Both teams were in two separate divisions last season, and they're meeting up again, and they're meeting up in League Two in a vital game. It's going to be a very tight game to watch, really. It's going to be a very tight fence. It's going to be a very tight 1-1 draw at Oldham. In the Premier to contrast it now. Who would have thought I was saying this? Nathan Smith is cooking in the defence and the fantasy team points. He is unreal in the fantasy team right now. 11 points is collected, scored a goal against Bristol Rovers. I have him for my fantasy team this game week because he's going to be playing. This team is playing twice this game week. One on Saturday and the other on Tuesday night. And I'm quite excited for this one, really. And I'm quite excited to see how well Nathan Smith could do for Tranmere. And Chesterfield are up to 6th. So it's a tight game to watch, really. I know Tranmere even put 4 against Bristol Rovers away from home at Memorial Stadium. So this could be interesting to watch, really. And I really think that Tranmere can actually beat Chesterfield here. I think a 2-1 win to Tranmere for this one. And then the Gillingham team and Salford now. Both teams in the playoffs. It's 5th versus 7th. Salford won 1-0 barely in the Manchester derby. And Gillingham lost 1-0 to Grimsby. So this could be a tight game to watch, really. Gillingham, they lost Gareth Ainsworth due to heart surgery. But he will be back he'll be back soon, really. But yeah, once Gareth Ainsworth comes back, they'll get going again. But yeah, right now, it's going to be very tight. I'm going to go for another 1-1 draw for this one. And then the Notts County and Cambridge now, it's 8th versus 9th. Before Tuesday night, Notts County was 9th, Cambridge was 8th. After that, they swapped places because Notts County draw 2-2 to Swindon in the midweek. And they won 1-0 barely in the 90th minute against Barnet on Saturday. So this could be a tight game to watch, really. Notts County is on form, Cambridge is on form. I have in mind that Notts County could actually pull this off. I think Cambridge will pull off a good fight, but Notts County will win, only just a 2-1 win to Notts County for this one. Then down to the Monday night game now. Port Vale take on Stockport now. Stockport are up to 5th, beating Exeter 1-0. 3 wins in a row for Stockport, even though they had their game had to be 50-minute delayed because the Exeter arrived quite late, and it didn't really matter for them because they won 1-0, and that was W's for them. And for Port Vale are up to down to 19th, but they're going to be looming around down the middle of the bottom half, but it's going to be a tight game to watch, really. Port Vale will pull off a good fight, along with Stockport. I think that Stockport will ace through against Port Vale in the Monday Night Football. I think a 3-1 win to Stockport for this one, but Port Vale will probably pull off a good fight. But yeah, if you're wondering, here's the rest of my predictions and the fantasy team for Game Week 13 right here. And if it's my predictions, you can comment down below on what your predictions are going to be. And everyone, thank you for watching this video. I have enjoyed it. Please like, subscribe, and share. And we'll see you guys later. Bye.